There we go. So welcome to this episode of Design Time. I'm Carolyn Stoll, and this is Chris Athanasiadis, and we're here today to talk to you about adding test exceptions in Blackboard. So a couple of things about why you might want to use test exceptions. This comes up pretty often in our office. People come in and situation has arisen where a student maybe has accommodations from disability services where they're entitled to get, extra time on a test, or maybe there's a situation where someone has missed an exam or a test for some reason and needs to make it up, or we've had situations where people are traveling or going to be leaving for some reason and need to take the test early. But, whatever the situation is, what happens is a student is not able to take a test or a quiz during the time frame or within the same timing as the rest of the class. And so what this allows you to do, it's a really cool feature that's been available only recently on Blackboard, is it allows you to set up test exceptions for either individual students or whole groups of students if you're using groups in your course, so that the settings you have for your course or for your test can be accepted for those people, so for either an individual student or for groups of students. So we're going to show you how that works. It's really super simple, and then we'll leave time open if you have any questions about either that or any topic whatsoever. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris and let him talk you through how that works. So
where is that?
It's under assignments. So
you would just basically want to go to where your test is at, hover over, find this little gray arrow, click on it, click on Edit the Test option. Now keep in mind that if you want there to be a timer on the test exceptions, this box should be checked.
So in other words, you can't set up an exception for a setting you haven't already set. So if you have a timer on your quiz, you can set an exception for that. That allows you to set the timer in a different way for someone else. If you haven't set the timer, there's no way to set an exception to the timer, if that makes sense. So
you just want to look for your section 3 here, test availability exceptions, and you want to add a user or group. You want to locate from here.
You drag that over.
You want to locate from here which student you want to give the exception to. I'll just pick Carolyn here. You want to click, make sure it has a check mark there.
Yeah, before you go on, notice that the last two choices are actually groups, and they have a little different icon. And we have two groups in this course, and so we could choose to add these exceptions to a whole group of students. So that might be useful if you have several students and you want to do it all at once. So.
After you select your student, click Submit, and now you'll see the student's name down here. And from here, for example, if you want to give a student unlimited attempts, single attempts, or multiple attempts, the options are all right here. As an example, if you had a student that had a disability and is supposed to get double time, you want to give that student 120 minutes instead. You simply just type it in, 120 minutes, or whatever time limit you want to give. Course completion as well, you can see it automatically populates. So this is checked down here. You can get both of them in this screen. If you uncheck this, it just appears from this down here.
Did we set a due date on this? Oh,
no.
We did.
Yeah, there's a due date.
Yeah, but it's past the due date. So why don't we change the due date to like maybe tomorrow, and then that should let us. Does that let us change that?
No, that doesn't.
That doesn't affect that. Okay.
But if you wanted to also give a student just a certain time period to take the test, tomorrow, in a couple-hour time period, right, you would just set it up on here. Choose your date, your time, and then save that, and then it shows, the times that student is available to take or able to take that test.
And that could be useful if somebody tells you, "Hey, I forgot to take the quiz." You can say, "Well, okay, you can take it now, but you have to take it between this time and this time." So, you can kind of hold them a little more accountable that way.
It's a pretty simple feature, pretty easy to set up. That's all I got for that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward. The thing to remember is, and we kind of discovered this when we were going through it this morning, if you don't have, like you can't set a timer, you can't change a timer setting. I don't think if we uncheck this,
yeah, it disappears.
It disappears. So you have to have set timer checked up here to be able to set a timing down here exception. So the thing to remember is you can add an exception to any setting that you already have checked up here. So any questions? Or any questions about this or anything else too? If you have any other questions about Blackboard that we can answer at this time, we're happy to do that. Otherwise, we'll wrap this one up in record time. I think.
All right. 6 minutes.
The one thing I wish WebEx would do is tell you if somebody's typing.
Yeah.
You know.
It doesn't show that.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. So we'll be recording. We recorded this, and we'll be posting the recording shortly. And then be sure to join us. I'm not sure. I always mean to check this before we do these, and I always forget. But we'll be back the first Wednesday in March with another episode of Design Time, and we'll be sending out information about what that topic will be then. So thanks a lot, Casey, and we'll see everybody next time on Design Time.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya. Stop recording. See, that isn't.